Why did you think of contending for the post as the SCBA president?
Well, I have, been the office bearer of the Supreme Court Bar Association in different capacities over the years since 1991. I was the member executive, assistant secretary. I was the first woman secretary of the association. Did 3 terms as the honorary secretary of the association. Went on to become the vice president. I was the second lady to adorn the post of the vice president. Went on to do terms of the vice president. So the logical position for me was to come as the president of the association.
Right.
And also the fact that I have come up the ranks and I have seen this bar evolve and develop and grow since 1991. I felt the need of the hour was to have a president who would also be a woman and also take up the issues which have been plaguing the bar for many years now.
I'm taking a leaf from your, where you ended your answer. How do you think the bar has evolved over the years, and what are the scope of improvement, especially that an SCBA president would bring about?
See, issues are many at the moment because we find that with so many lawyers coming in the profession out of interest now, not as a compulsion, and particularly after COVID. I mean, I must emphasize that particularly after COVID times that we saw, there are issues of professional conduct, the professional work that they have getting, the kind of health issues that people are facing, financial aids that they are looking at, of course, the registry or the car parking, and these are issues which are on a daily basis which are there.
Right.
But more importantly, we find that, in my term, when I was the honorary secretary, we had started placement cells for young lawyers, particularly those who were part of the first generation who needed hand-holding in the bar.
Okay.
So and those are things which have discontinued over the years. So that's would be my first initiative, is to start a placement cell for lawyers who need hand-holding at the bar.
Okay.
Second would be a mentorship program, where we as senior members of the bar or people who have been at the bar, it's our responsibility and duty to mentor the young lawyers who come in the profession and to guide them on to how to go about it, what are their areas of interest, start the continuing development program, professional development program, educational program, which I started in the year 2000, not only in India, in all the courts, where we have trained more than 8,000 lawyers on the art of advocacy skills. And this has been going on in different high courts. It was at the Supreme Court. And I want to continue with that program, that initiative in the Supreme Court, where we teach each and every individual lawyer how to improve their personal advocacy skills, hone their skills to appear in court and to address the court.
Okay.
So that is the other aspect. And there are many other initiatives which, of course, as an executive committee you take. See, when a president comes in as the head of the team, you lay out some of your blueprints before the executive, and there are, of course, there are others. And it is only by holding general body meetings, which have not been held in the last 5 years, that you interact with the members of the bar, you get their views, take their concerns, and then address them.
Okay. So, ma'am, a very important question that arises at this juncture is, what are the issues that you feel is affecting the women members of the bar at the present? Because, if we just, reminisce about what happened last year, there was this Nilgiri Bar Association case where, which brought to light the sad condition of women lawyers not even having access to washrooms.
Yes.
Of course, the Supreme Court is better placed than that, especially under the able hands of the Chief Justice. But how do you see, as an SCBA president, the issues that the women members of the bar face could be addressed in a better way?
See, right from the times when I have been there, or even before my times, as I mentioned, my parents were senior lawyers at the Supreme Court. My mother, Mrs. Priya Hingorani, started the profession way back in 1966. There were only 4 women lawyers at that point in time, So it's over the years from their times that women organizations were formed, a National Women Lawyers Association was formed to address the issues of women across the country. Today, we have many more women in the profession across the country, and they all look up to the Supreme Court, particularly Supreme Court women lawyers, for them to handhold to take up their issues.
Right.
There are many issues, particularly for women lawyers, which are unique. They have to work harder to prove themselves. There is not enough representation in the judiciary as law officers, as presidents of the different bar associations or office bearers. This was a thing which was flagged by the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud, also in one of his speeches, that we don't have representation in the Bar Council of India, state bar councils, bar associations. So this is something where to bring gender inclusivity is something which I would work on. And I'm sure, and I find that a lot of members of the bar are actually supporting this. I mean, I must give credit to the male colleagues also who are supporting this issue, saying that there should be more gender inclusivity. So that is one aspect. The other aspect is when you look at hygiene, you look at people with disabilities. We have many women who are part of the team of are people with disabilities, and they need some hand holding. They need facilities in the courts. So while we are at the Supreme Court and we say that Supreme Court and the Delhi High Court are the prime courts which have got most of the facilities which other courts do not have, or the district courts do not have, it would be our responsibility to take it downwards, like a pyramid, take it downwards to see how we can help them and the women lawyers there.
Ma'am, last year also witnessed a lot of not so pleasant instances in the Supreme Court Bar Association, where fissures were apparent between the Supreme Court Bar Association's president and the members of the governing body, wherein letters were addressed to the Chief Justice of India, and the SCBA executive taking a back foot on those letters, especially on the electoral bonds judgment, etc. What is your take on that? Do you think in any way the image of the SCBA was tarnished in any way?
See, according to me, the president of the association should be a completely apolitical person. For me, a person who is working for the interests of the bar is what is the need of the hour for a president. So yes, things what happened were unfortunate, what happened last year. Letter writing by any member of the executive committee, president downwards, is not accepted and not the tradition that we have had, that you would write individually as holding an office, writing to either the Chief Justice or the government or the Prime Minister. It is always a decision, collective decision of the executive committee which is put forth. Not only executive committee, it is the decision of the general body. We are elected by the general body of the association. When we are discussing issues, these issues have to be taken to the general body, have to be their views and their consent has to be taken as to how we would address a particular issue. So in my opinion, a president individually writing out letters is not the right thing to do.
Right. Ma'am, one question that goes without asking that's going to happen is, what are the key areas that you are specifically looking to work on immediately if you are elected as the SCBA president?
First of all, I would look at the issues which is plaguing the members of the bar. Over the years, we have found whether it is parking issue, whether it is a good working relationship with the registry, cordial relationships with the bench, also issues about health insurance, medical insurance, chambers. I mean, these are all issues which are there, which have to be addressed one by one, and all of them are priority. The thing is, no committee or no president or no individual has a magic wand, right? We all are there, and again I say we have to go back to the general body to take their views on how issues are to be addressed. When you talk of chamber allotment, chamber, it's very easy to say we will buy land, get chambers made and allot them. First of all, we have to have the land. We have to have the funds to build the chambers. That is why when we have to work along with the governments, along with the court, the Honorable Chief Justice of India and the other honorable judges, the committee which is there, then look at allotment of building of chambers, allotment chamber. When you talk of medical insurance or health insurance, we have to have funds for that. There are many lawyers who are not able to even pay the premium. So, and during my tenure, when I was the secretary of the association, we had got a grant from the government of India, 1 crore rupees. Today that amount has become 5.5 crores. That money is in a fixed deposit in the association. That is something, there's some amount we could look at using for the welfare of the members.
Right.
It was during my time as the honorary secretary that we got the association registered in 1999. So when you talk of initiatives and things to be done, I mean, my key areas would be seeing about on health, about professional development, continuing professional development of lawyers, hand-holding first-generation lawyers, working with people with disabilities, FZOC, that we have set up the Mitti Cafe in Supreme Court,
Right.
with the gracious space given by the Honorable Chief Justice of India. Make the people sensitive about it. We also look at, the libraries need to be looked into. Since after my term, I find that the library audit has not taken place. So that is something important, have a absolutely well-equipped library with latest, online portals for judgments for the young lawyers who otherwise have no space to go and work or do research or, spend their time, learn. So there are many issues which need to be handled. It's going to be a hands-full job for whoever takes over as the president. It's going to be hands-on. It has to be a hands-on president, available 24/7, accessible and approachable, who will be able to take all this forward.
Right. Thank you so much for speaking with us, ma'am.